What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another podcast. I hope that you guys are having the best day of your life today. In today's podcast, we were talking about fat loss, the myths, and also the reasons why you're not losing fat. Honestly, I'm talking about this because I'm tired of people not seeing progress, and I want you to see progress, and it's really not as complicated as people make it out to be, but it is hard. And that's the first thing that you need to kind of get through your thick skull, is that it's not an easy job. It takes work, it takes planning ahead. It takes extra time. It takes time off your plate. It takes literally more food off of your plate because you have to eat less. It makes you a little bit more hungry. You need to find ways to kind of push through it to get leaner. So then that way you don't off yourself, because sometimes it is a little bit harder. So there are a few ways to make this a lot easier than it sounds like it's not. So I want to talk to you guys about what the different ways to go about it are. And it's really simple. And the first thing that I want to say to you real quick is that you need to understand that when it comes down to losing body fat, all that matters is that you're eating the right amount of calories and the right amount of macros. You're getting proper rest. You're managing your stress well. You're managing your recovery well. You're not training so hard to where you're injuring yourself. You're managing your training recovery. You're just on top of these things for a consistent amount of time and changing your nutrition and changing your training when needed to make your body burn more calories than you consume. So then that way you just keep losing body fat until you're at your desired physique. That's really the only way that fat loss works. There is no other way. There's literally no other way. You can get into hormones and all that stuff, but when it comes down to it, I don't know a lot about that stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. I know the basics of fat loss and what actually works, even if you have some certain sort of things going on. But I'm also going to be really honest with you. I have worked with clients before who have had quote unquote hormonal issues like PCOS and certain things and blah, blah, blah. And when it comes down to it, they still weren't following through with the damn basics of fat loss, So when it comes down to it, these are the things that work. And I've seen people who have had hormonal stuff going on. I don't really know all that stuff, so I'm not one to look at for that. But even if you do have some of that stuff going on, check off these basics, because even if you didn't have that stuff, this is still the stuff that you would need to do. You know what I mean? And if I were you in your shoes, if you had hormonal stuff going on, I'd be okay, I'd rather just make the most out of what I can do and and figure out the rest later. I'd rather make sure that the things that I want to do are checked off first before anything, rather than not. You know what I mean? And I've seen pretty much most people I talk to who are oh, I have this thing. I'm but all these other things are not in check. And all these things is what helps you build it into a lifestyle. They're things that you just keep doing to a certain extent, not all of them. You might track your food for your fat loss. So then that way you can make sure you're hitting the goal every day, especially on the weekends. But you wouldn't continue to do that after you lost the fat. So that's another big thing that people make the mistake of when it comes to fat loss, is they don't do it right from the beginning. And this is why I suggest having a plan is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. They do it wrong from the beginning. They skip days. They fuck off on the weekends. They fuck off during the week. They fuck off midway through the month. They fuck off a couple months in. They fuck off in general. And they don't go all in on their goals when it comes to this. And I know you hear people talk about balance, and I'm also a big advocate for mental health. But when it comes to fat loss, it's it's not about being so hardcore where all you're doing is following a super strict plan that's super bland and plain. No, fat loss is about, and here's the best part, and this is the fun part. Fat loss is about knowing exactly how to hit the goal, but knowing how to have fun within the plan. Keep that in the back of your motherfucking mind, please, because not a lot of people think that way. It's just something we do as humans. We think the worst about everything sometimes, or we stress ourselves out, or we make things a lot harder than they need to be when they don't need to be. And that's just not something that you need to do with fat loss. And that's the best part about it. Like, we know so much about it as a species. It's not super complicated. You can have fun within the plan. You can eat well. You just have to learn how to still hit the goal while eating well. You know what I mean? You still have to know how to do those things. And so that takes practice. It takes practice. It takes, figuring your shit out. It takes, searching things up, asking for help, reaching out for support, not isolating yourself into a box. Like, you have to learn a little more to become better. So another thing, and this is another kicker when it comes to people not losing body fat. Like, I don't know why this is so hard for people to also get through their thick skulls. But when it comes down to you changing your body composition, losing fat, losing weight, whatever the fuck it is, you need to train for it. And what I mean by that is all the reps that you're putting into the gym, all the hours, all the hard work, all the increase in weights, you train, you testing your limits, even though you're a little bit fucking scared to lift that weight, whatever exercise it is. Every little moment that you're doing that, you're pushing your limits. You're walking out of the gym being fuck, that was a good workout. Every time you put in the effort to do that, that's training your body in a way to change your body. When you're going into the gym and you're training in a way where it's and this might be how it is in the beginning of your journey, which is fine. But if you're training in a way where it's this is, it's pretty easy. And sometimes we all need these workouts, even me. And I've been working out for 15 years, let's be real. But when you're training for this goal, it's I'm just saying, if you want to speed it up, it's a good cue is make every workout count, and then define how you're going to make every workout count. What does that look like for you? What does it feel like? What does it look like in terms of tracking your weights? What does it look like in terms of how you feel when you walk outside of the gym? How does it feel a couple days after that workout, right? You should be a little bit sore, full satisfaction when you're outside of the gym. What does it feel like while you're in the workout? You know what I mean? Full focus, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes can't always get that, but it's good to visualize how you want those things to go, how you want this to go, because if you can do that every single time, it's going to really minimize, think about it. How many times have you been hey, I'm consistent as fuck with my workouts right now, but you have an off session here and there. You don't train as hard. You take it a little easy, or that stuff happens. But think about it. If you were to just go and work out and be uber consistent and crush it every workout, you know what it feels like, you know what it should look like, blah, blah, blah. And you were to just do that every time, boom, 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 without missing for 3 to 4 months, your physique would change. But what I see a lot of the time is people miss it because they don't have this locked in. They don't know what that looks like, what that feels like, what it should be like, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes you have to build up to that. You can't just start doing that, especially if you're a newbie in the gym. But if you're more, you're working your way into intermediate or whatever it is, it's visualize it, make that a new thing. Because if you have goals, every fucking workout counts. Every single time. And so that's one of the biggest things I see that people mess up on. They slack. They don't take it that seriously. But the thing is it's fun when you take it that seriously, because you start to see results. You start to see your body change. You start to see the things, that you want come into reality. And then it just takes that hard work. You know what I mean? So make every fucking workout count, because it counts. That's one of the biggest things that counts. And what I see, because I've coached a lot of people, is it's really hard to get people to progress in their workouts. It's really hard to teach them that. I remember I posted a reel one time. I was nutrition is the easy part, training is the hard part, or something like that. And a lot of people were no, nutrition is the hard part, training is the easy part, blah, blah, blah. And I'm bro, I've worked with so many fucking people, and you've probably worked with, and this is, there's a lot of people commenting the same thing. I'm you probably haven't worked with anybody before, but what a big trend that I've seen with anybody when it comes to weight training, when it comes to any kind of, let's just say, just training in general, is literally it is so hard to get people to progress their training and like train harder and become better and train like and like turn into like an actual like, you know, like someone who's training, not just like going in for a quick workout. You know what I mean? Like training is different. Training is when you're training for a goal. It's for something. You know what I mean? Like it's like like that is, but like that's one of the biggest pieces that like takes people's physiques to a whole nother level. And like not a lot of people understand that. Like you have to train for it. You have to imagine it. You have to like dig deep with yourself to push hard, because you know that every single time when you're really not feeling like going for that extra 5 reps, 2 reps, trying to push your weight up, trying to lift a little heavy, like every little bit counts. That's what matters. You know what I mean? That's training, right? Training is when you show up and you put your heart into it, no matter how you feel. That's training. And so if more people were to train more consistently and harder, that would help. That would be a big thing. And it's always been a big thing. And so like if you think about like your fat loss goal, if you were just consistent like that from the beginning, like you're training, you know what I mean? Bam, dude. You get to that goal in no time. It's a big thing that I've seen people, you know, slack on. It's easy to slack on that. But when you have a plan to follow, it's like, even if you have a plan to follow though, you can easily still slack. And that's just due to it just happens, you know what I mean? But like minimize that from happening. Take it seriously. Take your workout seriously. Every workout fucking counts. So those are some of the reasons why people have a really hard time changing their body composition. Truth be told, I don't think it has anything to do with your fucking hormones. I don't think it has anything to do with your situation. I don't think it has to do with any of that. To an extent, this is not me being not like sympathetic or anything, but stress comes in the way. I get it. You know what I mean? But I think something that helps is just thinking about it separately from your life and like not identifying yourself with everything in life. Like working out and fitness is a separate part in your life. It's something that you can show up to no matter what. It's something that you can show up to a certain way no matter what. You know, you can make the time for it. It doesn't take forever. And so when the plan fits your schedule, it fits the time that you have to work out. When your nutrition fits your schedule, when your nutrition fits the schedule, and it just works, right? Like it just allows you to show up, you know, even if you're not feeling like it, right? So it's like a lot of it, like from what I've seen, doesn't have to do with like a lot of your circumstances. A lot of it has to do with your actions, as in like the action is not being taken daily, or it's not being taken as seriously as it should be, or as consistently as it should be. And it's not like a crazy big thing. It's not to put more pressure on you to work extremely hard and like stress yourself out about it. Like that's what having a good plan is for. Because I'm not saying to work out every day. I'm not saying to fucking eat chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life. The plan can be fun, which makes it so much better, but the things need to be there. The things that count the most need to be there. All the things that I just talked about, they need to be there consistently to hit the goal. And then guess what? When you're done the goal, then it's like, okay, you can change things up a bit, but then it's like, you know, there's some more specifics in there, right? But for fat loss, this is it. All right. So I'm going to leave it there because I have nothing else to talk about. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you a ton. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, just follow it, share it. If you have any things you want me to talk about, shoot me a message on Instagram at Nick Wild Aesthetics. Make sure to follow me on all the socials and on YouTube. I actually post a full video on YouTube, so you can always check that out if you want to. But yeah, in terms of fat loss, man, if people are just like doing the things that matter, and this is what I preach as a coach, like just these things, like doing these things, my God, like the results like come in, dude. But it's something you just gotta lock in. And it's really not that bad because you can still enjoy it. So anyways, I'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. Much love and peace out.